Hi there, it's Robin from Bernina Shirring. Today I'm going to show you how to do shirring with the pin tuck attachment. So this is the Bernina pin tuck attachment, and you buy it in a kit with the little pin tuck tool and a screwdriver and a screw. Now on your machines, if you have these two little holes on your Bernina, you can add this pin tuck attachment. Now these are on nearly all the Berninas, like right back to 1120, 1130, 1230, 1260, all the new modern machines as well, because this little attachment has got a hole and a little piece of metal sticking down, which when I turn it around sits in these two holes. So this little piece here that's got a hole through it is what I'm going to thread my elastic in. So then I get out my little screw and I put it in my hole, which is the first one, because the second one's got the little tab that's gone down, and then I use my little screwdriver and I tighten that up. Now when you buy these, you might get a different screw, and the different screw you would use your little Torx screwdriver that undoes your needle. So either this one or this one particularly is for that screw, but I got a new one in the other day and I had to use this screwdriver. So two different screws, same job. Weird. Anyway, so that is my little, that's how you put it on. Now how it works is you need to have a 2.5 twin needle. So that means it's 2.5 millimeters between there. So if I put that there, can you see that? 2.5 millimeters between the needles. All right. So now I'm going to undo my needle, and I've done it hopefully not too tight or I'll be in trouble. There we are. Don't do your screw up too tight. Take that pin out. I'm just going to put that on there because I know what size that is, that needle. Now remember, the flat of the needle goes to the back. So I put the flat of the needle to the back. Now when I was teaching this in class the other day, I used normal thread in my bobbin. But if I want my shirring to be very, very, very stretchy, then I'm going to wind a bobbin with my shirring elastic. So if you're going to wind a bobbin with your shirring elastic, you need to wind it by hand. So I'm going to get my bobbin and I'm going to put my thread up through the hole there, hold my thread, and I'm going to wind this very gently around my bobbin. So if you want it really, really, really stretchy, so you're making top of a skirt or a dress or something, then you will need to wind this by hand. Now normally we would tell you not to put this in your bobbin, but for this particular method, if you put it in the bobbin and you have a thread on top, you're going to get a really, really nice stretchy elastic. So this is the one time you're allowed to go against all the rules. Try and wind it evenly. I'm not stretching it on. I'm just doing it very, very slowly and just winding that on by hand. So back in the day, we didn't like you to put it in the bobbin, but after doing my class, I realized if you needed it very stretchy, you need to put this in the bobbin as well. So I'll show you it without it in the bobbin and then with it in the bobbin. So there'll be two different things. So what I'll do now is cut that thread. And you see I put it through that little hole to hold it. Cut that off. And now just put it in your bobbin as normal there. And pop that in. Now you can go onto the Bernina blog and you can download the shirred dress, and it will also show you step-by-step videos. So this is available for you to actually make a little girl's dress, and it's got 2 pages. and then it's showing you what it's doing. It's very, very good and perfect, especially if you want to do step by step. It's very, very good. So now this shirring is going to go through the eye of this, but what I do is I take my knee control off and I put my shirring elastic through there so it can feed off, and I don't have to worry about the cat chasing it on the ground. And then I thread this through the eye of this little tube here, and you can see now my shirring's going front to back. Okay, now the next thing is I've got my twin needle on, so I need to tell my machine. So I'm going to my screen here and I'm going to go to the picture of the sew plate and needle. I'm going to tap it and I'm going to tell it I've got a 2.5 twin needle. Now it is highlighted so the machine will know I've got my 9mm plate on, but no matter what Bernina you've got, you can do this. So I don't need my green bobbin, but my green bobbin matches my green thread there. So I'll put that one away, and now I'm going to use these two threads as my top threads. So you don't always have to have two threads the same colour. I wind some onto the bobbin. So this one's going onto the back, and just close that out when you're finished. And this one's going on to here. Now I'm going to thread one on the left hand side of this little disc here. This moves from side to side, so on the left hand side, thread it as normal. You can not use your needle threader if you have one, and I'm going to thread the left hand needle. So it's just the same as any other type of twin needling that you're wanting to do. Oops. And you can do this on cotton fabric, you can do it on stretch fabric, and shortly I'm going to show you something else that's actually very cool. So now I've got my second one, and I'm going to pop it on the right hand side of there and in the right needle. That just stops it from twisting when you're stitching. So obviously I can only do straight sewing, because I have a cord through there. So when I put it onto straight sewing, I'm going to change my stitch length to about 3 length. So here's my stitch length here, and I'm going to wind that up to about 3. So now thread your thread front to back. If it doesn't thread, just cut it on a bit of an angle, because I am sitting on an angle so you can see. It's a little bit trickier, but and then put your thread in there. So I've got my thread underneath, I've got my elastic underneath, my elastic on top, my 2 needles threaded. I've got it on 3 length and a normal foot. So this can go for any machine that has these 2 holes, can take a twin needle and do everything I've shown you. Now when I made my little girl's dress, I rolled edge the top. But what you can do is you can just fold over that first piece and press it, obviously. Pop your fabric underneath, choose the length, the width you want to start at, put your foot down, and then remember, when you're doing things like this, it pays to take off all your knots and everything. So if you've got one of these machines, turn off all your knots and your cutters and everything, so you've just got a normal sewing machine. I'm not closing this door yet till I start sewing. I'll just cut this shorter. So brings that bobbin thread up, and then I can close the door. There we go, I can close it now. Right, so now we're going to start sewing. This machine makes all these funny sounds. And then once you start, all you're doing is this is feeding by itself through here. Just make sure that doesn't get twisted and it's nice and loose. And you're just following your guide. And the elastic is feeding underneath and on top at the same time. And for the little girl's dress, believe it or not, you do 22 rows. I am not doing that today. I'm just showing you how you do the method. My needles, I've asked my needle to stop down, If I want to, I can push that button, so every time I stop now, the needle will stop up, but I also have a manual button here. So that will bring it up. Now every time I stop sewing, it will stay up for me, and that's what I want. So my foot up, lift my work out. Don't go stretching anything at this stage. Just cut that. Make sure you've got some so you don't pull it out. And cut that, the bottom one and the top one. And then go back to the other end. So there's one row, and I've got my 2 rows of stitching, and my elastic is through the channel of those 2 rows of stitching. So now I just simply put my foot down, and I put my foot beside my first row. If I want, you can have it as close as you like, but you must use a narrower foot if you want it closer, because you can't move your needle position. And my ladies know that, because I was like, oh, we could do this, and no, you can't. So now you do your second row. Oh, I should have trimmed that first row of fabric back, but it's fine, as it's just a sample. So what it's actually doing underneath, see my needle's up now and my foot's up. So what it's doing underneath it is it's doing a zigzag. There's my 2 rows, and I'll do another row. It's very, very easy, so make sure it's nice and loose there. You won't believe it till you do it. It is so easy and so clever. You won't go buying shirred garments again, because you can do them all yourself. And this is a very clever way with the twin needle. Needle up. Right, now, once you've done your 22 rows, if you were going to, then what you can do is you can take out that thread, take out your bobbin thread. You can leave your twin needle on, it's fine. We'll just put white thread in the bobbin because it doesn't matter. There we go. We'll pop that in. And you can leave that little foot on, that little attachment on, it's fine. But what I do now is I just, because I've told the machine I've got a twin needle in and the size, I can push zigzag and I won't break a needle. So what I do is I just zigzag down one side and secure and anchor those pieces, and you can go back with a twin needle. I can ask my machine to stop with the foot up, but I haven't. So I've anchored down the side, and then I come here and I trim off all my threads. So don't go cutting any elastic, you trim off your threads like that. And then on the back you can see it's done a zigzag over the elastic. So now when I pull this, the elastic is able to pull up through the channel. Very, very clever. So now I can pull my elastics, and where is it? I need this top one and the top one. That's here, and the top one and the top one. There we go. Oh, I've dropped one. I think it's that one there. There we go. And now I can pull it all up, and I've got a beautiful gather. So this is a really nice way of doing shirring. So it's very, very quick, it's very, very easy, and it's very, very effective. But you must have that anchored at the end and pull it all up. Oh, I've missed one, that one. There we go. You can tell when one's not pulling up because it doesn't go evenly. There we are. So you can see, and you can just pull them all out till you get them all even. And you've got your shirring done. Now I've done a sample of it wider so you can see. So here is my shirring wider, and it stretches really, really, really well. And you can pull it up as tight as you want it. but by turning over that edge you get that lovely soft finish at the top. So that could be on the top of a skirt, it could be round the cuff of a sleeve, that would look beautiful on a sleeve, or around the front of a dress. So shirring is a lot of fun. But look what you can do with the twin needle now I've got it set up. And I've shown you this before, but while I've got it I always remind people. So remember, I can do zigzag and I can lengthen it out and it will let me do the width it can do. I can do any stitch I like and make it any length I like, and the machine will not let me break my needle because I've told it I've got a twin needle. It's so cool. So twin needling is a lot of fun. Foot, take my work out. So that is just a really quick video on how we use the pin tuck attachment, and my next video is going to show you how you use the pin tuck attachment for gathering, and this is using a cord. So that will be my next video for you, and I'll see you again soon.